How are we, everybody? YouTube, Facebook, hello, 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 and Instagram. So remember, I look up and down and up and down because of the different cameras. So day one, what did we talk about? We spoke about the planning. We spoke about right from the beginning, the calculations, how to get to my ideal weight, how to get to my ideal goal. How does that look? Okay, it's exactly the same as your finances. There's a calculation. Working out your body fat mass is your body weight times your body fat, percentage that you're going to get from Tanita Scales, and divide that by 100. And then your lean body mass, okay, your lean body mass is your body weight take away your body fat mass. Okay, so the first sum, then take away from the second sum, and then that is going to give you exactly where you should be, where you need to be. All right. Now, then yesterday we went on to, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. We went over to body types and calories. Now, everybody's slightly different. Bear with me a minute. I'm going to have to turn my chicken off. I thought he'd be coming out of the shower by now, so I've got that wrong. Sorry, guys. So we spoke about body types. We spoke about the ectomorph, we spoke about the mesomorph, and we spoke about the endomorph. So let's recap on that. You might be an ectomorph with really thin hips, really narrow hips, narrow shoulders, long limbs, really, really low body fat. Okay. Then you've got the mesomorph that are naturally strong, athletically built, the women that have babies and they've still got a six-pack, those sort of people. That's the mesomorph. And then the endomorph is me. Stronger, heavier, thick set, wide shoulders, wide hips. All women carry weight past the age of 30, around the hips, the arse, the thighs, the metabolism slowing down. So if you are an ectomorph and you've always been really skinny, as you get older, you're going to realize going past that 30-year mark, weight water starts to build up around the lower legs, the hips, and the glutes. Okay. Now, depending what body type you are, depends on your calorie intake, how much cardio to do, and how the body reflects on that. It's not one size fits all. And I spoke about that yesterday in the live. So today now we're going to be talking about budgeting and food. The number one question or excuse people use is, I can't afford all of this. Sorry. You can't afford not to. Your health is everything. And simply put, people think because they eat a bit of salad during the week, in fact, what happens is they hardly eat in the week. That's a majority of people. They then binge on the weekend. And so what happens is there's no consistency. There's no regulation with food. There's no familiarity in the digestive tract and the way the body produces its bile. You're going straight up and straight down. And so you're never going to get really good positive results because you're not being consistent. So it's about the consistency. Again, if you want the shopping list, comment shopping list, okay? And I can get that over to you. The shopping list is there for you to take to the supermarket to pick up everything I've put on there. And that's the sort of shopping you want to do on a weekly basis. If you want to get hold of the recipe book and you want to get hold of the 6-week food plan that I've got, that I've done, then you're absolutely more than welcome to it. Send me a DM, okay? Hello, Niley. How are you? On Instagram. Hey, hey. So what you're going to do now is you're going to work out how much you spend on food. Now, eating healthily, people say, I can't afford it. It's the same excuse all the time. It's the same bullshit story that you're telling yourself over and over. Oh, inflation now, can't afford it, can't afford it, can't afford it. Inflation's inflation. All right. If we didn't have any financial growth, then there wouldn't be an economic system and everybody would be poor. Yeah. And that's a completely different government situation altogether. So you need to be quite aware of these excuses, because they are excuses. If you want something, it's going to appear, it's going to happen for you. You've set the intention out to the universe, you've got the thought from spirit, it's all in your programming, it's all in your paradigm, it's meant to happen. It's only you that can make that happen. So the reason why I talk about budgeting is it shouldn't even come into the health aspect for it. I'm guilty for it myself. I've had coaches and, oh, I can't afford it. But what I've done is I've put out the intention of past life programming that I'm not worth a coach. Why have I got a coach if I'm a coach? Why am I paying out for somebody to tell me what to do? And, as if they're going to get me those results, I can get them myself. It's cheaper that I just don't bother. So I'm guilty for it as well. We all are. But if you want the results, then you have to stop telling yourself that. Full stop. Because you're talking about your health. You're talking about shopping lists and food plans done for you. All you need to do is print them off. Download them off the Vortex, the Vault, whatever you want to call the system, print them off. That's it. You're going to take your shopping list, like I do every week, to the supermarket, and it cuts your costs down by half. And the reason for that is because you're not pissing about the supermarket, wondering what everybody wants for dinner, picking up stuff you don't need that you don't even use. And that's the end of it. I've been doing this. I've been doing this stuff for years and years and years. And I've always said to people, we don't need half of what's in the supermarket. We don't need the fizzy drink aisle. We don't need the juice aisle. We don't need the biscuits and chocolate aisle. We don't need the cake aisle. We don't need any of it. The supermarket would literally be fruit, vegetables, meat, and water, and the laundry stuff. And that would really be it. But people wouldn't be making millions a minute if that was the case, because there wouldn't be all the add-ons and the crap that we buy. You wouldn't even need a freezer department, because you can just buy everything fresh from the counter. And funnily enough, this is how we used to eat post-war Britain. This is how we used to eat right before the war. Okay? Your habits of your food and your budgeting come from past paradigm programming, from past lives, equally from what your parents have taught you. So if both your parents weren't cooks, you're not going to be a cook. All right? If your parents didn't really keep fit, then you're not going to keep fit. And so these are all old beliefs. I remember I never wanted to be like my parents, so I completely shifted in the way I parented. But sometimes you get that, you can hear yourself sounding like your mum, can't you? Or you can hear yourself sounding like your father. And so what happens is we believe that that's too expensive. We can't afford that. I'm not buying chicken every week. It's too expensive. There are ways round everything. So you're going to have your shopping list all prepared and sorted with the meals you're going to be cooking. And with the planning session that we did on Monday, you should have scheduled a cook fest day. Now you might say, I haven't got time to spend all day in the kitchen. It's fun. It's bringing self-awareness. It's bringing enlightenment to your soul. You're exploring foods. The family get involved in the kitchen. You might be one of these people that have got a beautiful home with a huge kitchen and you don't even use it. You might have wedding presents that you've got from years ago and you haven't even opened them because you don't cook. All these things are opening up the enlightenment to what you're able to do. And this is all part of the transformation. The cooking and the exploring new foods, the tastes, it's going to completely change the way you feed your body and ultimately feed your soul. The water that you should be drinking, 4 litres a day. Again, there are calculations in how much each individual should be drinking. It doesn't necessarily mean to be 4 litres. And a lot of people make the mistake in buying these huge, massive, chunky bottles and taking them around everywhere with them, which they must weigh a ton. I've seen so many women do it. And you chuck all your stuff in there and you literally have 2 mouthfuls throughout the day, but you've been carrying it around everywhere. It's actually a bit of a spiritual message, isn't it? It's like heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's like dragging everything, all your drama, all your past, all your thoughts around with you in these huge bottles of waters, and you don't even need them, because if you're not exercising to that level, then your body's just going to store the water. There's nowhere for it to go, and you're just going to consistently urinate, and then you could face the drama of doing the opposite and drinking too much water, which the body's got to get rid of it because there's too much, and you start to feel bloated and lethargic, and you know what I mean? So it doesn't really work that way. Again, it's another bullshit story of another selling tactic that buy, and it's so cute, and they're so, I've seen some women decorate them with stickers, and they are lovely bottles. I love them, but it's heavy to carry around. Unless you're training, you don't need that level of water. So again, I'll put a link in the comments after this live about where you can get a water calculator from. And you can also work out how much water you should be drinking. All right. So your foods need to be clean. What that means is there's a huge misconception about this, especially with the veganism. So I went vegan back in 2018, and that was due to me becoming very ill, but it was also a spiritual thing. I could really taste the blood in my food. I could hear the animals being slaughtered, and it just didn't rest right with me with what I was eating anymore. I was trying to shift the fat again to get into a competition for bodybuilding, and my diet was very, very high protein with the same foods, and it was eggs and chicken and tuna, and I just wasn't getting anywhere. And I knew that I had a lot of blocks, and that might be the same as you. And so that food's not working for you anymore. The body will plateau after 6 weeks standard, you know, it will plateau, and you won't go any further than that. You've got to change it up. The brain is a magnificent computer, and it will start to switch on once the body starts to absorb everything after that 2-week period. You've got 4 weeks after that where everything's really good, you're getting results, and then it changes again. Unless, of course, you're taking enhancements, unless, of course, you're taking steroids. So there's lots of different factors in it, in what works for you then might not work for you now. And that's where we get that plateau effect. So the food has got to change. When you're talking about veganism, don't just replace your sausage rolls, your chicken nuggets and all that shit with your vegan stuff, because it's not healthy. It's all manufactured, fabricated crap. You're putting those toxins back in your body. Again, I talk about all of this in my ebook, which gives you a 6-week food recipe shopping list. And if you want to get that information, if you feel that it will help you, again, comment 6-week plan in the DMs and we can talk about it. That's no problem. So you're looking at adding fruit and vegetables to every single piece of food that you have. If you have a bowl of cereal for breakfast, which I prefer you not to, I prefer you to have your slow releasing carbohydrates. So that would be porridge, maybe some shredded wheat, maybe some wholemeal, things like that. I don't want to overwhelm you here, but I'm just trying to get through everything for you. So if you're going to have that, then you're going to have it with a piece of fruit. Okay. If you're going to have your smoothie, you're going to have your smoothie first thing when you wake up in the morning after you've drunk your lemon water. Okay. Then you're going to have your smoothie, and then 2 hours later, you're going to have your overnight oats or whatever cereal you feel suits you. Okay. But that 2 hour gap, we spoke about it on Monday, that 2 hour gap, that consistency with your foods. Okay. So then you have what else can I have? Okay. Well, when you have your lunch, you might decide to have some rice and some tuna. You're going to add a salad to that and another piece of fruit. And then you're going to do the same again for dinner. So every single meal you eat, you're going to need your fruit. You're going to need your salad. Every single meal that you eat. Okay. Hi, Alicia on Instagram. Hello, hello, hello. So you're going to be having a piece of fruit and salad every single meal. Number one, it fills you up. Number two, it gives the nutrients that you need. And number three, you can absolutely explore all different kinds of vegetables and salads and fruits. And in order, if you are on a budget, to stay in budget, buy what's in season. Okay. We're very, very spoiled nowadays where we buy anything that we want. We can buy pineapples for Christmas. We can buy mangoes at Easter. All right. So buy what's in season. Again, I will put a list in the links for foods that are in season. And Instagrammers, if you want to click the link in the bio, you will get into the group on Facebook. All right. So let's just have a quick recap before we wrap this up then. No such thing as you can't afford it. It's an old myth. I can't cook. I can't eat healthily because I work nights, or what else have I been told? I've got kids. They won't eat what I eat. It's all a load of nonsense. It's just excuses. You're too frightened to change your future. You're too frightened to make the better choices for yourself. There's a lot of lack of self-worth there. There's a lot of lack of self-love. And I can tell you, because I've been there, I know what it's like. I know I'm queen of excuses. We all are. All right. So now from there, you've got adding a piece of fruit and salad or vegetables to every single meal that you have. We've got Miss S. Woods. Hello, hello, hello on Instagram. And so I'm just talking about what you're adding up for your food. So you're going to have your fruit and salad or vegetables with every single meal you have. Does that include the meals in between your breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Yes, of course it does. Okay. Then when we're talking about budgeting, I can't afford to eat healthily. Oh my God, it's inflation now. It's all a load of crap. Because if we don't have that 2.4% maximum rise in our economy, in your business, in your life in general, and if your job hasn't upped your wages, then fucking leave, because they're not paying you minimum wage then. Okay. They're talking about minimum wage going up to £15 an hour here in the UK, and America is always 10 times bigger than us. So inflation is rising, absolutely, because it hasn't done for the last X amount of years. And if it doesn't raise, well, there's no change. And if you're not willing to change yourself, then you're not going to be in that continuum. You're not going to be pushing yourself forward for better things. And it starts with your nutrition. It starts with the transformation of your body. Level one, it's absolutely about caring for yourself and changing the way you see yourself. And having the optimum nutrition, which is 10 times cheaper than what your shopping bills are now, probably. In fact, I can guarantee it. Is absolutely giving your headspace, if you've got a lot of mental health problems and you might have been diagnosed with onset adult ADHD, you might be diagnosed with bipolar, depression. I've heard it all. I've got my own demons. I've had to overcome them myself. And in order for me to get up out of bed and to have that energy to work out, it comes from your nutrition. So there you go. There's your day 3, all wrapped up. Again, if you want the shopping list, please shopping list in the comments. Instagrammers, you can just add the comment there or DM me, no problem. If you want the 6-week food plan, recipe plan, it's my ebook. There's some information in there for you as well. Then comment 6-week plan. Otherwise, guys, I will see you tomorrow for day 4, where we start to wrap it up with some amazing information on your exercising and your body conditioning. Very, very exciting. All right. So again, don't forget, you should have your calculation by now in where your body weight should be, your body fat mass, your lean body mass. Check out the calculations in the Facebook group if you need to be reminded of that. Message me for any advice that you need or any information you feel you might be missing. There's a shopping list available, and there is a 6-week food plan with shopping lists for you if you want it. Okay, you should have your 6-week plan put out by now. Calculation on where you want to be and where your body weight should be, dividing that up every single week in what loss you should have, maximum of 2 pounds a week of loss. And if you're looking to put on weight, then again, you want to put on that 2 pounds. Muscle always takes longer to put on. Okay, and it comes from your carbohydrates. So you might want to message me about that if you want to get big. But if you're losing fat or you want to get healthy, you're eating regularly with the foods that we've spoken about today to get down to that level. You're detoxing the body. You're taking all the crap out, but you're doing it slowly. That's the key. That's the secret. And actually eating more of the right things, drinking the right amount of water, you will see instant changes through the 6 weeks, which I can't guarantee because it's up to you, but I know because I've done it many a times. So there we go. I'm going to love you and leave you all, my darlings. Have a lovely evening. You take care. Goodbye. Bye-bye, Instagram.